Hello, everybody. It is me, Em, coming at you from the Sortifyd channel. Today, we are talking your Sortifyd money tracker. This is one of the newer features from Sortifyd, and so I am so excited to walk through this with you. I'm going to walk through on our demo account, beautiful, amazing Amy. Amy demo account is just a beautiful, let me say beautiful and amazing again, example because it's full of information and just so many different scenarios we can kind of walk through and really see how it works and imagine plugging it into your life. So I am on the Sortifyd app. I am in the organizer section down here. I'm going to click home and money. And then I will look in the money tracker. So this is in May, which is our current month. I'm going to go to February. That's where everything is logged. So let's get into February. Also, just for your reference, you can change and kind of view how you want to see this, whether it's a certain month, current month, last 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, all. And then you view the time. So this is February, the month, the entire month. This is what it's going to look like. So there's quite a few things I'm going to walk through here. So I'm just going to kind of go top to bottom and we'll get into our settings. You've got your income, your expense, your net savings. You can click through these. You can kind of see these transactions and which category it went into. So this is all transactions, but it shows you basically the if it's plus, minus, it's green versus gray. We'll get into more detail here. So there's also a budget. So I'm going to show you how we can make a budget, and that will then pop up. So there's 2,475 left to spend. So Amy's budget for February was $6,000. And as transactions are entered, this budget is live. You can see that at all times. Then we get into expenses. So if I look into expenses, I can view all of them at once by clicking that little arrow, but I also have my categories here. So it will show me the amount that has been put into or spent in each of these categories. The words right now I am struggling with, apparently. So the housing was spent $1,800 for rent, and so there's $0 left. Groceries, there it's at $675. There's $25 left. So you're kind of at this yellow. When you see the red, it means that Amy went over budget. So you kind of see those details here. I can click on this. I can see, okay, what were these dining and drinks? I can even click into the transaction. And when I'm in a transaction, this is what it would look like to make a transaction. You have your date, you have the amount, you put the category in, the description, so dinner with friends, if you have different accounts, cards, everything like that, where you were paying it to, who did this. So this is on Amy's account, and this was John, her husband, did this transaction. And because they share, they're he's a co-admin, it's going to be in hers. So you can also, in a transaction, mark if it's reimbursable or not. So if that's important for you, for your life, for work, you can always have this toggled on and off, and you can view your transactions by what's reimbursable versus what isn't. You can make any notes, and you can also put in an attachment. So maybe you have a photo of the receipt or the menu, something that just helps you remember. So that's how you would view those expenses. You can then see your income. You can view it all at once by clicking your yellow arrow. And again, added on, these are going to be green. Same thing, if I click into these, it's the same information, changes to received from. So I'm seeing where this is coming from, and I'm putting the description. This is John's salary. And then if I go back, again, this is my home screen. So this is what's populating when I open my money tracker. Getting into kind of some of your settings, you've got these 3 blocks here. This is so incredible. I love that this is here. This is one of my favorite parts. you've got trends and insights. If you are new to your budgeting journey, this is amazing. If you're super experienced in your budgeting journey, this is great. It really, to get familiar with your budget, to see it visually like this and to understand your trends is so helpful. And the fact that it's in this organization app and it's not just a budget app, like this is a great budget app on its own, but this is all in your Sortifyd app. You don't have to have 18 apps, you just have to have one. So this shows you, you can kind of see it breaks it down by color. You have housing, groceries, dinner and dining and drinks and other. You can see it a few different ways: budget versus expense, income versus expense, and savings. So really, really cool aspect of your money tracker. And then you have your settings button. So this is where you could kind of see those things that were like, well, where did those budgets get set? How did those categories get put in? This is where that all happens. So your money tracker settings, you have the structure. Expense categories are all here. So anything that gets plugged in as an expense, when you have to choose the category, it's pulling all of these up, and that's what's going to show in my expenses. Again, this is Amy's account. These are all expenses that she knows she may have month to month. If you have a different expense, add a category, and that, when you enter in a transaction, is going to be on that category list. So this is how you kind of create your foundation of what your expenses look like. So these are some pretty typical expenses that you would see from person to person. But again, make it your own. Maybe you have really unique expenses and incomes, and everyone is supposed to look different. So really, really get into customizing it so that you use this to the fullest of its ability. Same thing goes for your income categories. So salary, business, all of this, there's tons here, maybe more than you would put. Maybe you would just have two. That's totally fine. Same thing, you can add a category and name it. And then we have accounts. So this is where you have all of these plugged in, or Amy has all of these plugged in. So you've got whether you paid in cash, whether you paid by bank account, was it your checking, was it your savings, was it my husband's Bank of America, was it mine, which credit card was used, was it a prepaid card, what did I use my digital wallet? So this is where you can get super detailed. Again, you don't have to be super detailed if that's not how your mind works. This is Amy's account because it shows us kind of all of the options to the nth degree, just so you can see what the possibilities are. Then we get into budget. So this is where the planning comes in. So you have your overall budget. So if I scroll here to February and you were like, where did those numbers come from where there was $0 left, where there was $135 over? This was that monthly budget. So Amy set her overall budget to $6,000. So that budget status was showing how much of that she had used. She knew she had housing, auto, groceries, dining. So you don't have to set all of the budgets. So maybe you don't know what these are going to look like. Maybe it's just general, or these are just the ones you're tracking. Housing is something that you might know because your rent or your mortgage is going to be set to this. So that's what I want it to be. These could be goals, your average. A lot of times using the trend and insights, after using those for a few months, maybe you get a better idea of what you're spending on groceries. So after 3 months, maybe you didn't have a budget for groceries, but you saw on average you spent about $700. So now you're going to put that into your budget and aim for that and see how that sticks. So again, you can enter in budget for everything or just a few. And then you set that, and when you're on your money tracker, it's showing up over here because the housing is $1,800. It was $1,800 on the dot, zero left, versus drinks were set, and she went $135 over, and it tells you how much that total month was. So lots of details there. At the end of the day, this has so many layers to make it just for you. And when you click on the money tracker, The simplest thing I kind of haven't said yet is you can add a transaction just by clicking this button, and you filter out if it's an expense, if it's income, and then you've got everything from the amount. Remember, all of these categories are based on what you put in those settings. So I'm an expense, so it pulls up all the categories I had in expense. If I toggle this to income, it's going to put all the categories I have for income here. I can do description, the account. Again, I can add attachment if I want a receipt. All of those details can be put in here. And then if you are wanting to look at this and get anything more detailed or view it a certain way, I guess, filter your transactions, you could be looking at, so if I go, let's do all transactions, or which ones do I want to do? If I did groceries and I were to filter, which is this button that is kind of those three horizontal lines, I could go by expenses, I could go by income, I could have you show my attachments. Maybe it's a certain amount. I'm like, I think I spent around this amount. Maybe you just want to see reimbursable expenses at a time versus non-reimbursable. You can kind of help yourself view those transactions. So that is the money tracker in its entirety overview. So a bit of a lengthier video, and it can get, again, I can go nittier and grittier into detail, but that's kind of the overall umbrella zoomed out view of what the money tracker can do. It makes it easy for you to stay in control of your finances without the spreadsheets or the stress.